It didn't taste like the usual milk he craved. It was different, bitter. Confusion clouded his innocent gaze, and then came the cries. Sharp, desperate, piercing the quiet of the room. Still, Anna held firm. She had her reasons. Reasons she never spoke of. Reasons that kept her coming back to this ritual time and time again. She didn't mind his cries. She continued to feed him, knowing he would eventually tire, knowing that soon, like every time before, the cries would fade into exhausted whimpers. The bottle emptied. The baby's protests grew weaker, and Anna simply watched and laughed. Ha! Are you wondering how all of this started? Why would Anna, the nanny, feed an innocent baby with something unimaginable? It wasn't an accident. It wasn't just impulse. It started months ago, long before anyone suspected a thing. It began when Elizabeth realized she needed help. Her life revolved around work, endless meetings, phone calls, deals that couldn't wait. She was a businesswoman first, a mother second. The same went for her husband, equally consumed by ambition. They weren't neglectful parents, but they were absent ones. They had no time to care for their newborn, no patience for midnight cries, no energy for lullabies. So, a nanny became the perfect solution. Someone who could fill in the gaps, handle the late nights, the feeding, the playtime, a hired maternal presence. Elizabeth found Anna in the most unexpected place, the bustling market where she sold oranges for a living. She was young, eager, and looking for a better life. Elizabeth saw potential in her, saw someone desperate enough to take the offer without questions. It was a generous deal. A job as a nanny with a pay far better than selling fruit by the roadside. Anna agreed. And just like that, she entered their world. At first, everything seemed perfect. Anna was diligent, attentive, and devoted to the baby. She played with him, sang to him, ensured he was always cared for. She never let him cry for long, always soothing him as if he were her own child. Elizabeth and her husband were satisfied, relieved even. The burden was lifted from them, allowing them to focus on the only thing that truly mattered, business. Even on weekends, Elizabeth was glued to her laptop, chasing deals, securing partnerships. They never questioned Anna, never looked closer. And that was their mistake. Over time, something changed in Anna. The sweet, obedient nanny became something else. The warmth in her eyes darkened. Her gentle touch turned cold. She was no longer just the hired help. She became something else. A demon. Elizabeth and her husband never saw it coming. And the worst part? Anna didn't become this way on her own. Someone made her this way. Anna became a demon the day she met someone at the market. She wasn't looking for trouble, just foodstuffs. Just another normal afternoon. But trouble found her. The stranger appeared suddenly, stepping into her path with an eerie kind of confidence. His voice was smooth, his tone calm, but his words carried a weight that Anna had never felt before. "I'll pay you 50 times your salary," he said, eyes sharp, voice unwavering. "Just make sure Elizabeth cries like a baby. Make her suffer, and I will reward you beyond your imagination." Anna froze. The words echoed in her mind, tangling with thoughts of greed and possibility. 50 times her salary. Enough to never struggle again. Enough to change her life forever. Her heart raced. She imagined herself bathing in wealth, living in luxury, escaping the life of scraps and struggle, and all for a simple task: make her boss cry. She barely hesitated. "I'll do it," she said. The man smiled, pulling a thick envelope from his coat pocket. Half now, half when the job is complete. If you succeed, there may be even more. Anna took the money, gripping it tightly as if it might vanish. She didn't ask who he was or why he wanted Elizabeth to suffer. None of it mattered. All that mattered was the money. She walked home that evening with a new purpose. Her mind poisoned by greed. Her mission was clear. The next morning, before leaving for work, Elizabeth gave her usual instructions. Please make sure you take care of my baby as always. Make sure he doesn't cry and give him his milk constantly. Anna smiled sweetly, playing the role she had perfected. Of course, don't worry. He won't cry. The moment Elizabeth walked out the door, Anna's expression changed. Her smile faded. Her kindness drained from her face like water slipping through fingers. She grabbed the baby's feeding bottle and walked into the bathroom. Her hands moved quickly, pouring the milk into the sink without a second thought. Then she began filling the bottle with something else. Something that no baby should ever drink. She held up the bottle, studying the liquid inside, watching the way it swirled. The plan was in motion. Anna returned to the baby, her lips curling into a slow, deliberate smile. Drink, she whispered. The baby suckled instinctively, but his tiny face twisted in discomfort. His lips parted as a sharp cry escaped, a cry of confusion, of bitterness, of protest. Anna laughed, a quiet, chilling laugh that didn't belong to the woman she once was. Keep drinking, she murmured. You are the source of my new wealth. Her phone buzzed, and she picked it up without hesitation. It's in progress, she said. The voice on the other end was pleased. Make sure she suffers. Make sure she regrets everything. Her marriage, her life. Anna's fingers tightened around the phone. She will, she promised. The baby had changed. He was restless, weak, and cried more than before. Elizabeth frowned and looked at her husband. What's happening to our son? He never used to cry this much, but now, even when I hold him, he won't stop. Her husband sighed and rubbed his temples. Babies cry, Elizabeth. Maybe he's just sick. He'll be fine. Elizabeth wasn't convinced. Something was wrong, but she didn't know the truth. She didn't know that the real danger was inside her house. The person she trusted most, the woman who cared for her baby, was the one responsible. Anna made sure no one suspected her. She was careful, always calm, always smiling. Elizabeth never doubted her. She still left her child in Anna's care and went off to work every day. One morning, before leaving, Elizabeth handed Anna a small bottle of medicine. Give him this after his feeding, she said. He might be a little sick, but it should help. Anna nodded with a warm smile. Of course, don't worry. I'll take good care of him. But the moment Elizabeth left, Anna tossed the medicine into the trash. And then she took the baby's bottle, poured out the milk, and replaced it with something else. Something bad. The baby drank, then cried again. His tiny body trembled, his face twisted in pain. Anna barely reacted. She watched, cold and unmoved. The baby's cries meant nothing to her. This wasn't about the baby. This was about the job. Then, one day, she almost got caught. Elizabeth had returned home earlier than usual and walked into the nursery. The sight before her froze her in place. Anna was pressing the bottle into the baby's mouth, forcing him to drink while he whimpered and struggled. His tiny hands waved frantically. His cries filled the room. Elizabeth's heart pounded. Without thinking, she rushed forward and snatched the bottle away. What are you doing? Why are you forcing him to drink? She shouted, her voice shaking. Anna stepped back quickly, putting on her best innocent face. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure he drank enough. I wasn't forcing him. I was just following your instructions." Elizabeth narrowed her eyes. She wasn't sure what to believe. After a pause, she sighed. "Don't force him again," she said, picking up her baby and leaving the room. Anna watched them, her expression unreadable. Then, when Elizabeth was gone, a slow, dangerous smile spread across her lips. "No matter what," she thought, "I'll finish this job." Days passed. Anna was still focused on completing her mission. Any chance she had, she fed the baby with her mysterious substance, ensuring that nobody suspected a thing. She moved with careful precision, slipping into the bathroom, filling the bottle, and returning like nothing had happened. The house remained quiet, and Elizabeth and her husband, too absorbed in work, failed to notice the changes in their child. Anna kept in touch with the stranger, sending short updates. "It's working," she told him. "Give it a little more time." She didn't know much about him, just that he was determined to make Elizabeth suffer. He had once been her past, the man she left behind when money mattered more than love. Now he had wealth, and now he had revenge in his heart. He watched them from a distance, waiting for the cracks to show. And with Anna's help, those cracks were growing deeper every day. The baby's cries became weaker, his movements slower. He had no energy left, as if the life inside him was fading. Elizabeth noticed the changes but couldn't understand them. At first, she tried everything: feeding, rocking, singing soft lullabies, holding him close. But nothing worked. She grabbed the medicine bottle and poured a dose onto a spoon. "This has to help," she whispered, offering it to him. But the baby barely swallowed. His tiny body barely responded. Elizabeth's worry deepened. "Something is wrong," she said, turning to her husband. "This isn't just a fever. The medicine isn't helping." Her husband nodded grimly. "We need to take him to the hospital." Anna stood by, watching silently, pretending to care, hiding the truth behind concerned eyes. Elizabeth didn't hesitate. She picked up her son, wrapping him in a blanket, her heart pounding in fear. He barely moved in her arms. Panic set in. She had waited too long. She and her husband rushed to the hospital, navigating the streets in frantic desperation. Their minds swirled in worry, their fear growing with every second. They had worked so hard to have this child. Losing him was unthinkable. But deep inside, Anna was satisfied. Her plan was unfolding just as she had hoped. She had already started mapping out her escape, imagining herself walking away, free, untouched and wealthy. Elizabeth and her husband burst into the hospital, pleading for help. The doctor took the baby immediately, rushing him into emergency care. Elizabeth stood frozen, gripping her husband's arm as they waited in helpless terror. Minutes passed like hours. Then, finally, the doctor returned, his expression unreadable. But when he spoke, his words shook them to their core. The doctor sighed deeply, glancing at Elizabeth and her husband. "Your child has been consuming something unimaginable," he said. "Our tests detected a strange substance in his stomach, something toxic. This is bad." Elizabeth staggered back, her knees weak. Her heart pounded violently in her chest. She could not believe what she was hearing. "What?" she whispered, her voice breaking. "Doctor, is my baby safe?" Her husband remained silent, frozen in shock. The doctor exhaled sharply, shaking his head. "I don't know for now. He may survive, or he may not." Elizabeth's breath caught in her throat. "Please, save him," she pleaded, gripping the doctor's hands. Tears streamed down her face. "We will do our best," the doctor said. "But something doesn't add up. How did this substance enter your baby's body?" Elizabeth blinked, her mind racing. Then, suddenly, it hit her. She remembered the day she walked into the nursery and saw Anna forcing the bottle into her baby's mouth. The fear in his eyes, the way he fought against it. "It's her!" Elizabeth shouted. "It's our Nanny. She's the only one who feeds my son." Her husband's face darkened with confusion. "But why? Why would Anna do something like this? We paid her well. We treated her kindly." Elizabeth clenched her fists. "I don't know. But we need to find her immediately. She must explain this." Meanwhile, Anna knew her time was running out. She had carefully planned her escape, and now she had to act fast. She packed a small bag, stuffing her clothes into it hurriedly. She had no intention of staying. Pulling out her phone, she dialed the stranger's number. "It's done," she said in a low voice. "You'll hear the news soon. Send me my money." The stranger smirked on the other end. He had been waiting for this moment. "Good," he replied. "Now she will cry over her marriage, for leaving me and running after another man." His voice was dripping with satisfaction. Anna waited, and within seconds her phone buzzed. The full balance had been transferred, along with more money. She grinned, slipping the phone into her pocket. It was time to leave. She moved quickly, stepping out of the house, walking briskly toward the motor park. Meanwhile, Elizabeth and her husband raced back home, their minds clouded with anger and confusion. They needed answers. But when they arrived, the house was eerily silent. Anna was gone. Elizabeth rushed to her room, yanking open the wardrobe. Many of her clothes were missing. "She left," Elizabeth whispered in disbelief. She knew we would come for her. Her husband clenched his jaw, his fists tightening. "She did this," he muttered. "She poisoned our son. But why?" Neither of them had answers. Only pain. And their child was lying in the hospital, between life and death. Anna sat inside the travelling bus, leaning against the window. Her heart raced with excitement. She had done it. She was free. She was rich. She would start over in a new city, living the life she had always dreamed of. She stared at the phone, watching the numbers in her bank account. It was more than she had ever had before, more than she had ever hoped for. She smiled. She thought it was finished. But she was wrong. They would find her, no matter what.